Hi everyone, welcome to the Penn State Graduate Exhibition. My name is Merve and I am a fifth year PhD candidate in comparative literature and visual studies. My research mainly is situated in health humanities, which is an interdisciplinary field developed to understand medical knowledge and experience of health and illness through humanistic disciplines, art, and social sciences. In this presentation, I will walk you through my dissertation project titled Hospital Encounters, Mobilities of Care and its Literary and Visual Cultures across Turkey, Europe, and North America. In the dissertation, I examine literary and visual materials from the late 1960s to the early 2020s that consider an experiment with the hospital not only as a building but also as a sensory and material environment. This environment comprises distinct practices, bodily engagements, affects, expectations, institutional discourses, as well as special and temporal arrangements. Taking Turkey as its axis, the dissertation investigates the transnational mobilities of care via hospital encounters. This axis, especially through the journey abroad for treatment, manifests the dynamic relation between cultural and political exchanges and globalization of health. Bringing artistic works from Europe and America to conversation, the project follows the articulation of a health distinct from today's neoliberal dicta of individuality and profit. Bringing Turkey into scholarship complicates the North South and East West paradigms which are embedded in global health humanities scholarship. I work towards uncovering neglected contributions of Turkish writers and artists to Western literatures of health, especially during the late Cold War era. Given the radical transformation of Turkey since the 1990s, it also offers a contribution to the histories of neoliberalization and healthcare. Also, in literature and film, the consideration of the hospital is mainly limited to setting, plot, or theme. Several literary studies predominantly focus on a health sick dichotomy, and the films are primarily interested in the hospital as a critic of an institution. Acknowledging the existing scholarship, the project gestured towards an understudied area, which I call a hospital oriented literary criticism and visual cultural study, and I propose the hospital genre as a main contribution. The hospital genre differentiates itself from medical film set inside a hospital. The hospital is not a mere building or an institution. I'm interested in day to day encounters within and through the hospital, as well as the principles and regulations of the hospital and its artistic and technological mediations. The hospital genre reveals the possibilities and limits of space by extending its visual landscape beyond the normative gaze, amplifying its other sensory qualities to include non human entities, and bringing an ordinariness and care forth that extends beyond emergency or myopic fixation on cure. Dissertation consists of four chapters, and I want to give you an overview of them now. In the first chapter, The Body in Motion Journeys and Reports of Care, I'm interested in how the body politics is constituted through a constant exchange between art and politics and the mobility of ill artist's body. In the second chapter, Vital Signs, Medical Intimacies, and Fearful Yet Desirous Affinities Between Life and Art, how being at the threshold of vulnerability transforms art, both in form and content, is at the center. This chapter specifically concentrates on the creative and collaborative employment of medical imaging technologies. In the third chapter, Grafting as Self and Community, the hospital encounters with transnational resonances on focus. These are organ transplantation and the transition to and development of neoliberal projects of care. In the fourth and final chapter, New Directions on Literary and Visual Cultures of Care, an explicit interest in health and the body in the visual field after 2010 is underlined. In terms of methodology, the dissertation mainly employs close reading and visual analysis. I also benefit from technology studies, feminist science and technology studies, and sensory ethnography, as well as limited amount of archival research. My understanding of the hospital as a social, sensory, and material environment was encouraged by the readings and the studies, especially the ethnographies of hospitals and monographs about the cultural history of medical imaging technologies. At the moment, I just returned from my visit to Barbara Hammer Papers in Beinecke Library at Yale University, and I wrap up my findings in order to revise the second chapter while working on the first chapter actively. When the dissertation finishes, hopefully it will contribute to global health humanity scholarship, and offering a hospital-oriented literary criticism and visual cultural study will complicate the divide across medicine, literature, and visual culture. I want to acknowledge that this dissertation project is supported by Rock Ethics Institute's doctoral fellowship. Thank you for everyone listening.